Puda, you the GOAT, boy.
What's Packin? It's your boy Godchild, first of his name, and you are watching episode 2, week 10 of the What's Packin podcast, where we talk about everything Green Bay Packers. We're going to unpack it, get into it. We're not going to shy away from nothing controversial. I'm not your typical Green Bay Packers fan. I'm diehard, as you can see. Look at this. Look at this. If you're not a Packers fan, these are for you, because I am, buddy. I bleed green and gold. That's why I was going to call this show Packers Positive. Not positive like everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows all the time and the Green Bay Packers organization can do no wrong and Aaron Rodgers is God and he's infallible. As in, that's my blood type. Packers Positive, because I bleed green and gold. But I decided to go away from that because people was always saying on Twitter, like, your name is Packers Positive, but you're so negative all the time. Well, first of all, I don't consider it being negative. I just say I'm unbiased and I'm critical, and you know, like, I'm a real fan. Like, to me, I'm a real fan. Those other people, they're not fans. They're just like cult members. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that Bill Burr skit where he, that bit, I guess, where he's talking about like figuring shit out, like men trying to like put together a bookshelf, or I don't know, whatever's wrong with your car or some shit like that. Losing your shit is part of the process. Like fucking throwing your hat on the ground, screaming, punching the air. If you don't want at least one of the head coaches, one of the coordinators, or the head coach, or the GM, or somebody to be fired at some point in time in the game, then I don't think you're a real fan. I got a lot of pushback on Twitter. People saying I'm fake, saying I'm just a troll, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're not going to do that. Be quiet. Daddy is recording. What was the point? I mean, you can see, like, this is not the most like professional setup, man. But you know what? Fuck it. It's passionate. It's not professional, but it's passionate. But I wanted to get this preview out tonight before the game tomorrow. So I'm doing it, man. No excuses. Progress over perfection, bitch. Everything perfection is boring anyways. You know what I'm saying? And it's actually more fun when you get it out the mud. When it's not, everything is kind of against you. It's more fun. But anyways, let's keep going. And we're about to jump into the week 10. This is a preview. Okay, I know it's Saturday night. I know the Packers play tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. But shit, you know, better late than never. As I always say. Actually, I don't ever really say that, but it's apropos. It's one of those things people say. I'm gonna look at the injury report. Okay, so Jair Alexander is doubtful. Bakhtiari, it's got a little dash, and it says that the dash just means that it's not listed, which I think is a good sign, especially if they're a full participant or even a limited participant. I feel like it's better for it to not be listed, like the status, than for it to say doubtful or questionable or game time or whatever the fuck it says, or out, of course. I think how it works, I think like on the scale of will he play or won't he play, I think out obviously is like they're not playing. And then I think like the next, or let's start at the bottom, because you know we want to rise to the top. We want to go up. We want to have optimism. So the least optimistic, of course, is out. And then I would say next would be like doubtful, right? Like I doubt it. You know what I mean? If somebody asks you a question and say, hey, are you going to this thing? And you go, I doubt it. Like in your head, you know you're not really going to go, but granted, something crazy happens, or maybe out of nowhere you really feel like you want to do something, or maybe you have another plan that canceled on you, or you find out that, you know, this girl, this guy, or whatever you're into is at the party, or you know, whatever, you learn some new information and you're like, you know what, I'll go. But when you say you doubt it, even that person knows, like, okay, you know, like, they're not really planning on seeing that. So then then up from there, I would say it's questionable. You know, questionable is like, we'll have to see. You know, we're hopeful, but we're unsure. Doubtful is like, we don't think so, but it could happen. You see the difference there? You know, there's more optimism in doubtful. And then I think there's like game time decision. I don't know if that's like an official, if they would ever say that on the injury report, but I think, game time decision, you hear that a lot. Oh, it's going to be a game time decision, Jack. He's practiced all week, but he's still dealing with some residual effects of that lower body injury, and he was just limited in practice. But we're going to see if he can go. He wants to give it a go. He might not be at 100%, maybe more like 75, 80. But even if he's at 80, 80% is better than most people at 100%. Back to you, Andrew, in the studio. Some shit like that. And then of course there's going to play, I guess, which would be, I think, what this little dash indicates. So we got Bakhtiari should be back, full participant. Tyler Irvin, Irvin, full participant on Friday. He should be back in. Aaron Jones, full participant. He was injured. He played last week. He was still coming back from injury, but he's going to be in the game. Kevin King, questionable, okay? But good thing. Jackson, he's been playing pretty good. I saw something on Pro Football Focus, the Packers one. I followed them on Twitter. It said like he's actually like in the top 10 as far as like, what was it? Damn, what was it? Can I find it real quick? Okay, let's see. Haha, I did find it. Okay, here we go. Jair Alexander. Okay, lowest yards allowed per coverage snap this season. Jair Alexander is tied for 5th in the league. Not just on the team, in the league. Josh Jackson, in his limited starts, he's tied for 7. 0.57 for Alexander, 0.60 for Jackson. So the only cornerback duo ranked within the top 10 for lowest yards allowed per coverage snap. But he's still ranked at he has a overall ranking that's pretty low, but I guess and then someone said both things can exist, because that just basically means like he's always there. He's not giving up long bombs. He's making the tackle. He allows a lot of short gains for tackles. So and he tackles a player, not a lot of big plays, which is good, which is great. Like I said, let's go back to the injury report. Redmond, Scott, Shepard, Brown, Wagner, Tanyan, all questionable. Mercedes Lewis has a little dash. Something he's playing, full participant. Preston Smith, full participant. He had a shoulder. So looks like we're getting healthy. We got a lot of guys coming back. We're gonna have Adams and Jones like on the field together. Hopefully at like 100% for like the first time since like week 1, which is great. They put up a shit ton of points, and not that we should really need it now. Look, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars report. When I went to Jacksonville Jaguars website, jaguars.com, to look for their injury report, and I refreshed it a few times. They don't even have week 10 available. It's Saturday night. Bro. It's 6:22 p.m. on a Saturday night. They don't even have the injury report available. That right there tells you that this isn't a serious organization. You got some fucking schmuck, running the website, probably, I don't even know, just like jagging off, not doing his job, running late. I don't know what the fuck to say about him. I'm trying to come up with something funny, but it's like, come on, man, like update your website. Like who the fuck is running this website anyways? Come on, man, like who's the website guy for Jacksonville? Get on your shit, man. Like week 10, buddy. Like week 9 was been over, dog. The Packers, a well-run organization, they have the injury. They got the injury. How you gonna let the opposition have your injury report on their webpage and you don't even have it on your own? That tells you right there everything you need to know about Jacksonville. They're not a well-run organization, and they have no business winning this game tomorrow. Just from that point, okay. But they got Dakota. I don't know any of these motherfuckers. I'm just Tyler Eifert. Seems like he's gonna be a full participant. That's a name I know. Minshew did not practice. He's still out. So Minshew Magic, no go. Laviska Shenault, that's a name a lot of Packers fans know. People were projecting him to maybe get drafted by the Packers in the 1st or 2nd round. He's out. Okay, DJ Shark, that's a name fantasy owners would know. Wide receiver, he's actually going to be participating. It seems like he's a full participant on Friday. He had an illness. They got the little dash there for him. O'Shaughnessy, that's a tight end. I don't really know him either. But here's the and then they've got the running back, the undrafted free agent guy. He's actually on my fantasy team. He's pretty good, and we all know the Packers have trouble stopping the run. So that's the injury report right there. The Packers, they really should have this one sewed up. We're gonna go to NFL.com. We're gonna see teams. We're gonna see what Jacksonville was like on the stat. Take me to the stats. Jacksonville is 1-7. Okay, they are 1-7. They have got to be the worst record. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jacksonville. There's another team who is absolutely way worse than you, and that is the New York Football Jets. Okay, actually, it's the New York Jets. Then the Jaguars. You would be number 2 though on this list, Jacksonville. So you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're literally the second worst team in the league. They have no fucking business winning this goddamn game, and they're allowing a shit ton of points. Jake Luton, quarterback facing Wizard Aaron Rodgers, he says it's pretty surreal. I feel like I know that name Luton. Like I heard it like in the draft process or some shit. James Robinson, that's the kid's name. He's averaging 4.4 yards a carry. He's got 5 touchdowns, 580 yards. DJ Shark actually has more touchdowns for them than I thought. You know, this is kind of a no-brainer. Honestly, like there's not really a lot. There's not really a lot to discuss here. I think this is a fucking no-brainer. The Packers, hopefully they're not looking forward to next week, prime time, baby. So. Or game of the week, I should say, which is like the prime time of the morning spot. I'm a very critical fan, but I'm not super confident about this team. You know, a lot of people are on Twitter, especially, and even in the media, are saying that, you know, Green Bay is you know, like a Super Bowl contender, and I'm not so sure. To be quite honest with you, I'm really not so sure that this team is a Super Bowl contender. I didn't like how they lost to Tampa Bay. They got completely embarrassed. I've made no bones about that. And then I was completely disgusted. But that I understand a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like Tampa Bay is like a Super Bowl team, even though Tampa Bay has now lost to the Saints twice, and they got embarrassed the second time around. So, you know, that was ugly. But I can almost excuse that loss because it's like, you've beaten some other good competition in my opinion, and while it's an ugly loss and it's the same kind of loss that I was raging about against that the Packers had against the Tampa, it's like, to me, like if I'm a Tampa fan, like, you know, you have Tom Brady, who's like one of the most clutch quarterbacks ever. He's proven. You have a lot of weapons on offense, a lot of weapons and studs on defense, and you have been playing really well. I mean, you lost a close one to the Bears on the road when the Bears were, you know, when you were still sort of in the early beginning of the season and Tom Brady was getting comfortable, and then, you know, you lost the very first game of the season to the Saints, and, you know, you're still kind of having a growing pain. Now, I can't really explain this loss to New Orleans, but I tell you what, beating a team 3 times in one season is hard to do. It happens very rarely. And I remember the Packers beat the Vikings like twice in a year, and then they played them in the playoff game. I think that was a famous game where Randy Moss mooned the crowd, which to me is still the greatest touchdown celebration of all time. Those divisional games are crazy. Sometimes they can be a toss-up. And I always say that you can throw the records out, the injuries, a lot of that stuff kind of just gets washed out, and the fact that it's just something strange about divisional games. You play those people all the time. You're kind of used to playing on the road, or you're used to playing in someone else's stadium. You know, you just have history. You just have so much tape information, rivalry, all this kind of stuff kind of comes into play. So, and like like when the Packers lost, I saw a lot of people on Twitter posting times when teams had ugly losses in the season, sometimes early, sometimes late, and they still went on to win the Super Bowl. I don't think that this says anything really about Tampa. They do have, you know, to figure out, New Orleans has their number for some reason. They match up really well. And, you know, I even said, like, if Thomas was playing for the Saints, and I know he didn't have a great game against Tampa Bay, but I think with Thomas in the game, it just completely changes the whole complexion of your scheme defensively and offensively. So I think Green Bay would have had a much tougher time beating and defending and overcoming the Saints on the road, granted with no fans, and maybe would have even lost that game. I think that was like week 4 or some shit like that. But as I was saying, you know, Green Bay, they've got their 2 horses back on offense now. I mean, Jaguars are like really depleted. They don't have shit going on really. I mean, that young kid, the running back, James Robinson. I mean, you got to keep an eye out on him. I think he could definitely have a little bit of a game. You know, maybe a touchdown, 100+ yards rushing. The Packers still haven't figured out how to stop the run. So until they do, I really have no confidence in them. Like or rather I say I don't. I'm never gonna assume that another team won't be able to do it, regardless of how I feel about the pieces that they have on defense. I think they have a lot of good pieces, which is why it's so head scratching sometimes that Packin makes these dumb decisions or that they give up so many yards. It's like, you've got dudes, you know, you've got some guys, you know, figure this shit out. So my prediction, I think Green Bay, up and down the board, they've got them beat at, you know, weapons, offensively, offense, you know, running back, receiver, quarterback, you know, fucking tight end. Everything down the board, they've got them. They check the boxes. Even coaching, I would say you check the box. Organizationally, you know, they check the box. I don't see anywhere where Jacksonville, being 1-7, has any right to be even competitive tomorrow. You know what I will say as far as like this team, the Packers, are they a contender, a real legit Super Bowl contender, or are they just a good team, or, you know, are they an okay team? You know, I honestly don't even know. Like I still need to see more from this team. Like I know they have good players, but lots of teams have good players and are bad teams. Like I don't think they're a bad team, but how good are they on a scale of 1 to 10? Like 1 being like, I don't know, like it's kind of even sounds strange to say on a scale of 1 to 10 a good team, but I think there's different levels to good teams. Like, because every team isn't a Super Bowl contender, but there are teams that are going to have a winning record or make the playoffs. But even though they make it, you don't feel confident that they'll make it run. You know, you don't think that they're going to go deep into the playoffs. So I'll say that I think Green Bay is like a 5 or a 6 right now on the good team scale. Wouldn't put them at a 9 or a 10 or even an 8. You know, maybe give them like a 6.7, you know, or a 7 on the good team scale, which I guess some people say is a pretty good team. And I think that feels about right for them. So far, they've lost to a Super Bowl contender, and they lost to a bad team with good pieces, okay, but a bad team nonetheless in the Minnesota Vikings. At home, they lost to them. They let Dalvin Cook run all over them. He scored 3 touchdowns. He had an amazing day, and you knew that they were going to do that. Like, once you know, you've got to stop it. And then if they start to beat you another way, then you sort of just play this cat and mouse game where you figure that shit out. But, like, to me, Packin is the weak spot of this team. Because, and by extension, LaFleur, in a sense, because LaFleur has final say in everything that Packin does. Now, I don't want to, you know, be looking over my defensive coordinator every fucking player, like always like listening to his call and not trusting him. Like, if that's the case, then he should be fired. And I think that most Packers fans probably would say the same. You know, like Packin, he isn't getting it done. And he has enough play. Like Jair Alexander is playing at an all-pro level. Like, I'm not really sure what they're looking like at say. Like, we all thought Amos was going to be like a solid guy, and I think he is a solid guy, but Amos needs an Eddie Jackson next to him to like be what he really is. And right now, Savage, we thought and we hoped that he was going to be that Eddie Jackson kind of player. He has the size, he has the physical tools, but he has not been a playmaker, and he has not caught on to the defensive scheme. He's always out of place. And I said this, I think, on my last video, but Savage, to me, in year 2, he hasn't progressed at all. He's like stagnant, and it's really hurting. It's hurting Amos, and it's hurting his back end. And he's not like, excuse me, he's not where he needs to be. Like, you know, I'm not sold on him. I wish they would have, I don't know what the fuck I wish they would have did. I wish they would have kept Micah Hyde and put him at safety, honestly. But I digress. That's what this is. That's what it comes down to me. Like, will this defense be able to shut this team down? Honestly, if this team was a Super Bowl contending team, that really deserves to be in the NFC Championship game and represent the NFC conference, they will shut Jacksonville down. I'm talking like 9 points, bruh. 10 points. 13 points. Like, they don't, like, one touchdown, like, late in garbage time. They need to shut this fucking team down. Like, they need to come out and they need to dominate Jacksonville from whistle to whistle. Like, from the opening kick to the last kneel down in victory formation. 50 burger, honestly. If this team wants to prove to me that they are a contender, they got all the horses back. Is Lazard going to play? I think maybe Lazard is still being worked. He's still being worked again. They need to just shit all over these dudes. Realistically, like 38, 45, some shit like that to like 13. Like that's what this game should be. And if they really want to like turn the corner, they smashed San Francisco, a depleted, demoralized, like just utterly, just like not even worth, like JV team, practice squad guy, replacement level San Francisco 49ers. Now come out and dominate Jacksonville even more. Dominate Jacksonville even more. No points. Fucking shut them out, bro. 10 points to 50 or 49. That's what I want to see. And if they're not looking ahead to Indianapolis, which is going to be a tough game, then, you know, and they stay focused, which has been a problem for this LaFleur team, like keeping these guys focused, then they should just blow these dudes out, man. Look, I wanna know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know, you know, about my analyst, my prediction, my you know, am I an idiot? Do I make sense? Are you with me? Are you still waiting to see about this 2020 team? Are you already on the bandwagon? Do you think they're going all the way no matter what happened? You know, against Minnesota and Tampa Bay, or even tomorrow's game? Let me know. Like, subscribe, turn on notification bells, comment, do the whole shebang. It's your boy Godchild, first of his name. This is What's Packin', and I'm gonna try to be doing shows a couple times a week, post game preview, and then maybe something topical on Tuesdays or something like that. Topic Tuesdays, I don't know, whatever the case may be. But look, man, holla at your boy. Until next time, Packer backers, peace.